earlier.
Here's one I made earlier.
Here's one I made earlier.
Here's one I made earlier. Here's one I made earlier.
Here's one I made earlier.
Hello, Blue Peter fans, and welcome to Here's What I Made Earlier, the first video of 2025. Hey, and welcome to Here's What I Made Earlier. Now, before we get into our Blue Peter madness, which was I like to call Blue Peter fun, we are going to talk about some light admin. Now, you're probably wondering, Tom, I watch all 22 of your YouTube channels. And I know that in your interviews across the third channel, the Weird Side, the main channel, Tom Mason, Taskmaster World, Tom's Comedy Club, Here's What I Made Earlier, to name a few channels where I do interviews on, yes, I normally do the admin on them. Well, this time, because of a large audience on this channel, I have to bring the admin directly to you. Now, as you probably know, on my third channel, the Weird Side, I created a video that was a pilot for either a YouTube series on the third channel, The Weird Side, or a YouTube channel of its own called Game/Quiz Show World, where I talk about different quiz shows, different game shows. But here's the twist. I include clips in between the video of questions from an episode at bits where I've not even said, here's a clip. So, should that be its 23rd YouTube channel? Please tell me yes or no wherever you're watching this, in whatever comments there is, wherever I have shared this glorious and wonderful video. Now, today we're talking about a brand new series on this channel where we talk about cameos, Blue Peter cameos, where Blue Peter has appeared in other TV shows. And yes, I am going to talk about Doctor Who eventually, but for now, this is a cameo that I didn't expect to find, plus I didn't expect to see. So this is a cameo all the way from the sketch show on the BBC, goodness gracious me, and we have our famous Blue Peter presenter that got the world record for the longest running female presenter, Connie Hook, in shot here. And without further ado, here is the clip.
There we go. Now, the good thing about these is that you can make them at home for absolutely nothing at all.
Oh, good girl.
And that was the clip. Now, I want to say that I very much loved that clip, and I think that what makes it funny is that you don't expect it, and that's what Blue Peter cameos do. So let's say the Doctor Who cameos are there and they're part of the story, right? They join in, but that was like, I'm watching goodness gracious me. Oh look, you know it's 1998 because here's Connie Hook. Here is the sketch character that says, I can do it for home and loves aubergines. So you sort of blend and make, and Connie Hook saying, oh yeah, you can do it for free and all that. And I think that what makes this excellent, brilliant and extraordinary is because the unexpected. You don't expect it. And this is what I like about this sketch as a whole, is that you don't expect it to come. You don't expect what you see, and what you get is what you've always wanted, right? So, I've always wanted Blue Peter to make old cameos, right? Because it's one of those shows where it doesn't really lend itself to blending into other programs. You can't really, unless it's a Blue Peter challenge, or unless it's an item on Blue Peter, you don't really often get random Blue Peter presenters just appearing in background of stuff unless it's all part of Blue Peter. So having this as a random thing, in my opinion, coming across it, rewatching goodness gracious me now, works really well because it's unexpected. You're not going, oh, I can't wait for the Connie Hook appearance. Oh, wait! None of that. None of that at all. You're like, ha 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 ha. Oh! It's Connie Hook from Blue Peter. Oh, it's a Blue Peter sketch. And you don't get that. Will there ever be a Blue Peter sketch show where sketch characters do Blue Peter for children? Who knows? Will that happen one day? Only time will tell. I don't know. I want it to. I want a children's Blue Peter sketch where they take the Mickey out of Blue Peter, but it's a children's sketch and not Goodness Gracious Me, which isn't a family sketch really, and Armstrong and Miller isn't really a family sketch show. So them making sketches out of Blue Peter, perfectly fine, love it. But I want a children-centered one so that we can take the Mickey out of Blue Peter. We can do all those sketches that we want to do, but it's for a child audience. It's for the Blue Peter audience, not adults that grew up with that era of Blue Peter, or, well, apart from the Connie Hutt bit, because that was actually happening. That was taking the Mickey out of an era of Blue Peter, the Armstrong and Miller stuff. So what I think is that there should be a family-friendly children's sketch show that pokes fun at Blue Peter and the whole magazine program format, really. Like Please Like, that was a children's sketch show that was all about taking the Mickey out of internet culture. So I think we need to have one where we take the Mickey out of children's magazine programs, not just Blue Peter. But I think that would make these sketches unite with the audience that they're poking fun at, if you will. So I think that this sketch as a whole, even though it's only 14 seconds, I think that what it does best is how it takes Mickey out of things, how it does it in a quick succession. It's like the fast show. So 1 minute it begins, next minute it's over. And I liked how, even though we haven't got enough time to enter the world of Blue Peter to go, right, this is what's going on in this episode, here's a sketch now. We haven't got enough time. With 14 seconds, we've set the setup so that it looks as much like Blue Peter as possible, which in my opinion is the best bit, because you know immediately Blue Peter. You might not know who the presenter is at that moment. You might not know it's Connie Hook, because not everyone that was watching Goodness Gracious Me might have been watching the current version, the current iteration of Blue Peter in 1998. So who knows what the audience were thinking at that time, but make sure that it signified that it is Blue Peter, like the Blue Peter badge, the makes, and all this stuff that you know about Blue Peter. No matter what era you're watching, some elements have and will always stay the same. So the makes will never go anywhere, right? Since they were invented in Blue Peter, they'll never escape. No matter what form you shove the make into, they'll always exist as a whole. So having the make be the key element of the sketch really does work and really shows to the audience that if you really think about it, anything is possible, and you can make a sketch out of anything. 14 seconds to get what we got is absolutely incredible. Sorry that the light went out there. It's absolutely incredible, and it works pitch perfect. Not the film's pitch perfect. Whoa, no. They're the interview type thing you have to get on Blue Peter anyway. But I think that the sketch itself has got to be in the top 10 best Blue Peter sketches, because I do think the Armstrong and Miller ones do get carried away slightly, which isn't a bad thing overall, getting carried away slightly, but I do think that Blue Peter in 14 seconds really works extraordinarily well, and I think that it harbours more creativity. It harbours saying, like, this is what we're making, this is the type of thing that Blue Peter would make now. Well, in 1998, sorry. And here is the sketch. I think that in more sketch shows, we should have more cameos from presenters. So I think in the next iteration of the next big children's sitcom, sketch show, that isn't really about science or history or politics or anything, it's just comedy, I think we should have cameos from Joel, Abby and Sheeny. I think we should have Blue Peter presenters cameo in these sketch shows, because we know now that over the Christmas period, due to Blue Peter was being pre-recorded quite a lot lately, due to the fact that our Joel, who is a magician by trade anyway, So it's not. I'm not saying that every Blue Peter presenter is like this, but Joel at the moment was like that over the Christmas period. He was in a panto, and I think the Blue Peter and pantomimes work really well because Blue Peter presenters often go into pantomime because they are well known for the pantomime audience, and it always works, and they're always fantastic. But I think that having like performers that like Joel does magic performing beforehand before Blue Peter, so his expertise in that area joining Blue Peter work, so that I think a challenge should be for them to create a sketch. So you should get the horrible science sketch writers or horrible history sketch writers in for a challenge. Joel, Abby, and Chini should create a sketch that will premiere at some point in a sketch show. So I think that should be a Blue Peter challenge because sketches like this that we saw today work really well. They're executed really well, and overall, I just think it shows that Blue Peter presenters are more than just presenters. They can join in with gags, they can join in with jokes, they can do excellent performances, even though it's not their forte per se. Some of them were performers beforehand, so would a performance from someone that was known in the performance world beforehand work in this sketch? Probably not. I think Connie Hook, being the memorable face and being 14 seconds, just works in her time wave because she can pretend to be doing an episode of Blue Peter and have that interrupt and not really startle her because it just comes in. And I think that's what makes this work so perfectly. And so, there you have it. That is my first review of clips, of cameos of Blue Peter presenters. What else, other than Doctor Who, what other cameos that Blue Peter presenters made to other shows that you'd like me to review, cover, and present? Thank you for watching. Here's what I made earlier. The YouTube channel that tries to be a TV show, but as you know, fails miserably. That's like your catchphrase at this point. Right, guys, remember, keep watching Blue Peter. Until next time, it's back. Blue Peter, new episode of Blue Peter is back next Friday, and it's either going to be pre-recorded or live. Who knows? Well, the Blue Peter presenters probably know. And I think, and I'll be really honest with you, as we're at the end of the video, I think pre-recorded Blue Peter means that they've got more time to do more challenges. So it's a win-win. When they do it live, it's brilliant. It's hilarious because then you've got Steve Backshall accidentally knocking a load of books off. And then you watch Chaos and Hugh and they all panic and going, oh, and it becomes funnier because you know at that point they are 100% live. But if you pre-record an episode of Blue Peter, you get more challenges because they've got more time because they can record it in the middle of the week and got more time to do challenges. So it's a win-win having it both pre-recorded and live. So I think we should all just say that's a win-win. But it does mean that we do have like more Blue presenters do pantomime as well, so that's also a win-win for the pantomime audience that go to pantomimes more regularly. But there we have it. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Bye. That was my impression of the closing theme for Blue Peter. Bye bye.
One I made earlier.
Here's 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 one I made earlier. Here's one I made earlier.